looking right down the line. Hard to challenge. Chiefs get it out to Pacheco, who's tackled by Aiden Hutchinson. That's a gain of 4 on first down for Kansas City.
He's just a really good hang-around kind of guy.
2nd and 8 for Mahomes. They set up Pacheco on the screen. Reed Humphrey, the late block, set him free for the first down. Across the 35 to the 37-yard line. The patience of Pacheco, who is slow to get up after that one. 22. Mahomes flipping out to Pacheco, started blocking Hutchinson and finishes gaining 9 yards.
Field level, we're north of 100 degrees. I'm like Albert Brooks in broadcast news down here.
Are you anchoring in Portland now? Give it to Pacheco, and Pacheco turns on the speed. Out of bounds at midfield, chased down by Jenkins.
And does this play call and result remind you of anything? And look at the two pullers. There's Tooney, 62. Kelsey, 87. You know what it reminds me of? How they started the second half of the Super Bowl.
We are under 3 minutes to go. And I give Pacheco.
You can't account for the improv of Kelsey and Mahomes. It's what makes them such a challenge.
Gonna run it here. Pacheco back in. Gets a great block. Pacheco motoring inside the 30 and a big-time run. Here is Pacheco. Right side again. It's working all day, and it's working again as Pacheco has another first down. Draw. Pacheco walks in. Touchdown.
Pacheco almost caught in the backfield. Instead, into the open field and accelerating. Pacheco in for the touchdown. The Jersey Kid back in his home state for 6.
Running backs are the stars, and sometimes it's the guard that's the star. Watch number 65, Trey Smith, right here. Wham! Talking about opening up a hole, and then Pacheco, you forget how fast he is. And Mahomes played receiver, and I think he'd know what they were doing on the other end. It's just an amazing relationship.
Mahomes from 25, comes back to the inside. This is wide open. The flag is down, and there's a ton of room for Pacheco inside the 40-yard line with a huge gain.
That's like flipping the bat or something,
Exactly.
wasn't it?
You get that little shovel from Mahomes, took a huge hit, bounced off it, and he has that power to go through hits and learn how to reduce your cancer risk. Chiefs take over from the 12. Good space for Pacheco. Turns the corner, heads upfield. They knocked out of bounds shy of the 30-yard line.
They can run the ball, Jim, and that's how they scored. They didn't used to be able to do that.
First and goal. And it's going to go to Pacheco. Stopped it first. Second effort, he's in for the touchdown. Flag is out.
Touchdown for Kansas City.
Well, think about all the years like Mahomes is doing everything. He's, off to his lowest touchdowns through his first 4 games.
First down. Pacheco. Oh, there was just the smallest of openings, and he exploited it.
Good pocket. That's caught. 15-yard line and wrestled down by the throat.
Mahomes is very confident that his group eventually will get it.
Little flip here, Pacheco. And he takes it inside the 30-yard line. Second and 8. Flip it out here. Pacheco. Close to a first.
But affecting the quarterback is right there with it.
2nd and 8. Morris is coming at left tackle. Pacheco getting some work here out of the locker room. And he's got another 8 yards with that one.
Dave Tobe, special teams coordinator, does a great job getting about 4 first downs for him.
Give Pacheco. Ball comes out, but there was already a whistle. James fell on it. It's Pacheco getting past the wave and finding the end zone for the touchdown.
Watch Trey Smith, the right guard, 65. He's the one guy who has to make this play. He's got to do it against the fast guy and linebacker Murray. He gets out there and pushes Murray aside.
Every player that I spoke to in the pregame said it's in excellent condition. Shouldn't be a factor today, Kev.
Good stuff. Here's Pacheco, Mel, on 1st and 10. He's one of the top running backs breaking tackles. Benito gets him from behind, but the burst takes him to the 44.
Tell you, Donna Kelsey, she's become quite a celebrity, and what a great job she did, and Ed raising those boys.
Here's Pacheco able to bounce. First big play of the night, Isiah Pacheco over the right side.
That official did see the arm restriction, but based on the timing, doesn't make the call.
Here's Pacheco, nice cutback. First down at the 25. The team with the best record in the league coming in. Here's Pacheco, left side, 10 plus.
3rd down goal, Pacheco. He may have pierced it, plummeting in, touchdown! Isiah Pacheco puts it through. And the Chiefs are on the board.
Watch Tooney, he's going to come in motion and kick out. Pacheco's going to jump inside. And then it's just trying to dance around and push the pile once you get to the goal line. I think that initial wave, he was able to cross the goal line and then...
saw it. 1st down and 10. Here comes Crosby. There goes Pacheco. Blocked by Tooney. Blocked by Humphrey. Did he get it? Yes, he did! Now down to the 1.
Andy's got to throw the red flag, and he doesn't.
Pacheco will get it nonetheless. Getting in. Touchdown. He probably would have had the other one. But he's got another touchdown today. And the Chiefs have their first lead of the game.
Well, and that's where, as a head coach, when you're trying to decide, okay, we're 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Do I take the challenge and maybe get it, or do I trust my guys that over the course of the next 4 plays you can get it in the end zone? Reed deciding not to throw the flag. And right now for the Chiefs, replacing Donovan Smith as Pacheco runs to the left. Got away from a tackle. Pacheco on the run inside the 10. 1st and goal, Kansas City. Isiah Pacheco, a big run at 27. 27 for that magical duo there. Pacheco back in. Slamming it left into Quay Walker, through Quay Walker. Inagbari brings him down, but a gain of 11. What a powerful runner. Walter Flowers, the line judge, was on it. The Chiefs go quick, and Pacheco into the end zone, but a penalty marker down. We've got a couple of them as players were running on and off. The officials will confer for a minute. For the moment, it's a Pacheco touchdown. Pacheco goes to attempt a Lambeau leap. It fails.
2 fouls, both by the defense. Illegal substitution, 12 players. Offside defense. Those penalties are declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Lollipop things, we didn't have enough.
And with all the confusion, Pacheco, they lead the way again. He goes over 100 yards and continues to push the pile. He's a one-man brotherly shove all the way down to the 1.
Come on back over, Isiah.
Tyreek Hill? No, it's Pacheco.
Yeah. And now he's going to fake it to Mahomes. Pacheco trying to find it. He does. Touchdown. Found the end zone on the fake reverse.
And using it, and boy, was that a great design play. And Pacheco showing off the little...
That last drive, but he is completely exhausted, leaving it all out there.
He's able to get this pass away, Trace. Good insight. As again, Pacheco. This time he gets kicked in the head. First down from the Cincinnati. 45. Goes to Pacheco this time. He sees an opening. There he goes into the secondary. Pacheco to the 10-yard line, taking Jordan Battle with him.
Creed Humphrey, go ahead and watch right here. He reaches the edge, and then he gets up to the second level, and the displacement of that front creating a huge hole for
3rd and goal, 8 yards out. Kelsey's in a slot to the right side. There's Mahomes. Fires it. Touchdown, Kansas City. Pacheco on the receiving end.
Take a one look over here. There's 4 guys, only 1 over here. You don't normally do that, but Pacheco's going to go right through the middle. And because they have not used this all year.
Steelers, who have beaten the Bengals twice. It's all part of that mix, trying to sort out the wild card spots. Of course, you got Chiefs trying to win the division, and they get it to Pacheco, who turns the corner and goes down the sideline inside the 40-yard line. Broke a big one. Look what Anarumo's done. This is a reflection on what Lou does to defend them. They open this drive with Pacheco ripping off a big one inside the 50, the 40, the 30-yard line before he is taken out. Kelce threw a huge block. Last line of defense to finish him off after a huge gain of 37.
What a great job by Tooney. But then you see, we talked about the safeties.
Yep, Duke Riley is coming. Pacheco's going. First down into the secondary. Isiah Pacheco all the way to the 13-yard line. Under center, Pacheco toss. Leading the way was Donovan Smith, the tackle. The gain is 5. Goal from the 3, direct snap. Pacheco fakes the pitch, bounces left into the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. The no hold call led to the snap. Pacheco almost lost it, faked it to Mahomes, and a bounce to the outside. 21 carries, 78 yards, and a guy deserves a touchdown the way he has run and set a tone tonight.
Watching with his helmet off. Back to Pacheco. Able to step around a lot of traffic. We just saw A.J. Klein come right back out. So he missed one play, 2nd and 8. There's Pacheco. All kinds of room in the middle of that field, and he's got a 1st and goal to go for Kansas City. First down from their own 37. Pacheco high steps it and picks up 12. Runs hard every single time. Pacheco. Pacheco is across for the Kansas City touchdown.
Wow, what a run. Finishes downhill. And this is an outstanding misdirection play call. Thinks that it's going to go to the right, and the cutback into finish. McDermott did say he's going to go for it.
Here's Pacheco into the secondary and running down the sideline and out of bounds at about the 3-yard line.
Emotion and throw a touchdown right there, and way to be patient, and good job. What a perfect blocking scheme on the edge. All 3 guys outside. Pin their defender, pushed out, blocked out. I want to screen them, play action, and run it.
You've seen the screen working already. Looking, diving under. The first wave is Pacheco for another chunk play and a first down. Pacheco rushes off 1 defender and able to pick up 4 out of that. 2nd and goal. It's back to Pacheco. Pacheco drives across for the Chiefs touchdown.
What an outstanding drive. Just watch the left side of this offensive line move all those guys into the end zone.
Pacheco trying to get a good drive starter, and he does. He's got a first down.
2nd and 20. You don't have to defend the run as much. Watch out for the play action or quick screen. And, of course, Andy Reid runs it and puts you in a 3rd and long, though.
And it picks up about 6. Just their 3rd snap of the game in San Francisco territory. Out of the backfield, Pacheco. About 2 yards short of the first. Burks pushed him out. As a toss to Pacheco. Looking for an opening. He found one. Boy, there wasn't a whole lot there. He picked up 8 out of that. Mahomes. Oh, he thought about heaving it to the end zone. Said it's Pacheco for about 4. 2nd and 6 from the 37 of the 49ers. Set up a screen for Pacheco. Pacheco has ridden down by Warner. Boy, Warner jumped right on him. They're going to mark him about half foot short.